Yeah, thank you. Let me say that the last couple of weeks were hectic, trying to one build relationships with the current commitments that we had, and then trying to add to the class. Really thankful for. I thought our previous coaching staff did a really good job of having guys in place there that were committed to this university, and we were able to keep the majority of those. We lost a couple during the transition, but we were able to add some as well. And the thing that is recognized with all the players that decided to join us here is they really feel great about this university. They feel about the direction of our program and excited about going into Conference USA. And so it was good to be out and represent this university and go in the homes and see the young men that are going to hopefully be the future of our program. And getting in a short amount of time, getting to know them, but we're excited about them and who they are and their commitment here. And then we're not done. We got some work to do, obviously in the February signing period as well. We got some work there to do, and also we'll be looking in the portal to try to fill some needs there that we might not were able to meet in December. But this is a good class. We're able to get a good offensive between offensive line, some running backs, tight end. I thought we fit a good need there, and a quarterback. Really excited about our quarterback that we got, and then defensively brought in a good group from a defensive line standpoint. Got some work to do in the secondary, but we thought we got a good corner coming in out of Alabama, and 7 mid-year enrollees that'll be joining us, which is important, we're looking forward to adding to the class.
Coach, highest ranked recruiting class in Liberty history of 83. I think the rivals had it. Can you just kind of speak to that and the ability of this school to recruit?
Well, one again, that's credit. Majority of that's credit to the previous staff and the success that they've had. We're able to get on some guys that they really felt good about, and obviously we were able to hold on to them. You don't get a lot into those rankings, I think, just because you don't know how sometimes they're justified based off how many you sign and some of those things. But it's any time that you can be recognized like that and have the highest class up to date is big. It's good. That gives us sort of the barometer. Hey, we can't go below that, right? And so you want to continue to climb. But researching the players that we brought in, they're all good fits here, and I think that's important. It's about getting the right fit for our university and who we are and what we're about, and that's going to be our best recruits are going to be those fits that love being here and want to help us achieve the things we want to achieve being a championship program. But that's good. It's a big deal, and that'll help us continue to hopefully raise the standard.
Coastal Carolina and Liberty sort of cross paths quite a bit in terms of recruiting similar type players. Does that help in your transition from one to the other, that you guys were already recruiting the same type of players who would have been fits at both places?
I think so. Running the program the way we're going to run it, you did have some crossover. So there's an understanding of knowing, hey, we recruited this young man before. We didn't get him maybe at the other place, but he chose here for reasons, and that did help the transition with some of the players that were already committed. We had a prior relationship or a previous relationship with that helped us tremendously to be able to hold on to him.
One of those guys, Aaron Fenimore, a guy that you had a relationship with prior, and got him to sign with Liberty here yesterday. What does he bring to this team and this unit? And I think he was one of, 3 offensive linemen you signed yesterday, 3, 4 offensive linemen. Was that a position of focus going into this class?
Yeah, offensive line is a big need, and that's going to continue to be one there. We've got a lot of players coming back there, but a lot of super seniors coming back. So there's a big need over the next year or so, and so it was important to try to bring in some young guys now, especially guys that could come in mid-year. So 2 of the linemen coming in are going to be here in January, which is big. Aaron's a heck of a player out of Georgia, great offensive lineman, plays the game the right way, comes from a very heavy sports family, and his dad played college football, was a good college football player, and so he's been eat up with it for a long time, and obviously had a long-term relationship with him, and he believes in our program and what we're doing, and it'll be good to get him going early because it does provide some immediate depth for our offensive line.
And Vaughn Blue, running back, that you signed. I don't think Liberty signed a running back out of high school for several recruiting classes, went to the portal a lot, but what was it about him that made you think he'd be a good fit here?
Well, he was somebody we were actually heavily on for a long time previously, and ended up getting a couple commitments before really we got to him there. But he was somebody I always kept in mind, and he was there really the next guy up in case something happened. And as soon as we had the opportunity here, and seeing our depth at running back and some needs and some of those things, he was one of the first calls we made and got him up here. And I think he's a tremendous player. Led his team to the state championship game there down in South Carolina. So unbelievably talented young man, but better off the field, just does things the right way. And he's another young man will be here in January, which is big, and that's a big need for us. You know, we don't have a lot of depth there. Obviously, Day coming off an injury, we got to get him back, and so we're working hard to fill that room up.
A lot of schools have regions that they like to go into. Liberty's kind of been a national recruiting school. I see, you know, looking at Coastal's roster and some of the guys you brought in there, it was a lot of Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. It seemed like those were big. Do you intend to stay in those areas a little bit more when you look forward in recruiting, or do you look forward to branching out more?
Well, I think you always have to be willing to branch because you want to make sure that if there's a young man that wants to be at Liberty, you got to be able to go find them wherever they're at. Obviously, we have prior relationships there in the Southeast, and so it would be unwise for us not to take advantage of those. But where we're at here in the location that we have to a lot of a lot of the states that are around that have good football playing, we'll definitely broaden that. But we're gonna be smart about what we do. We're gonna make sure that where we reach that people want to be a part of our program, and if they're in Hawaii, then we're going to Hawaii to find them. If they're in our backyard, hey, we're going to stay in this backyard. The best fits for us, and but we'll have us a nice radius of what we really want to focus on, the states we want to focus on, and then we'll plug certain other states where we have immediate needs. Like we got a quarterback out of Louisiana. Louisiana's not typically a place you're going to recruit quite a bit, but he's an unbelievable fit here. Was committed this summer and stayed committed. He had a lot of opportunities to drop, and some other people that tried to get him to not sign, and he stuck with it because he loves Liberty, and that's the type of young man we're going to be looking for.
With getting T.J. Bush and a guy who has a state championship pedigree up in Northern Virginia, how much is he going to be able to help the defensive line?
Well, coming in early is big. He's somebody that we've known about for a long time, really since I think the summer of his junior year. Had him at 3 or 4 different camps and just saw him, and he really played well. He's a great leader, loves football, and somebody that we know that fits here really well. And anytime you can come in early to a program, and whether you're ready to play, whether you're not, it allows him to grow, allows those guys to grow, and provides an opportunity for those guys to get better quickly. And in the sport of football, as you know, injuries happen, portals happen. You need as many people you can have here in the spring to learn. And so he's somebody we're high on, and if he continues to develop the way he did through his high school days, we're looking forward to him being a good player.
Another defensive lineman, Tyshee Galloway, junior college guy. Is he a guy with a little bit of experience, a little bit of maturity that you think can come in and maybe fill in a need immediately? That's the plan.
He was somebody that we were on for a while, and the first weekend I got here, he was on an official visit. The defensive staff been on him for a while for immediate need, and he jumped on board. And he's somebody that has to be able to play right away. And he really improved in his time in junior college. Really had a really tremendous year this year. Really improved, changed his body, and did the things he needs to. And so he's coming in hungry. He knows the opportunity that he has. And if you're bringing players in like that, there's an immediate need to fill, and where there's an opportunity to play. And he's excited about that. And he's somebody that we need to, hopefully, when he comes in here and learns the system and puts himself in a position to help us going into next fall.
Talked about, I believe you mentioned Jamal in your opening statement, being able to sign a quarterback. How important was that, and how many more do you think you need?
You never have enough. And so really excited about him. Good young man, played an all-star game down there in the state of Alabama, which is a great football state, and good fit for us. Obviously got to know him, here over the last week or so, but him and his family are tremendous. His mom's an unbelievable dresser, by the way. She's sharp. When you see her at games, she's awesome. And but we need more there, and we really, we need some older guys too to push some of our younger guys that are already in our program, and so, we'll be active trying to bring in a couple older guys to help with our depth and some of those needs that we have. But I think you're going to see us hopefully get after a couple, probably 2 more corners if I had to guess.
The tight end, Bo, another guy that you had a previous relationship with. Is he a guy, you mentioned that as position of need. Is this a guy that you think can help fill that need immediately? And do you look at maybe trying to get another 1 or 2 tight ends moving forward?
Well, the thing that I love about him is, he's a dual threat type guy. He can definitely go out and split him out and do the things you need to catch the football. But he loves to block. If you ask him, he'd rather pancake somebody than score a touchdown. That's his mentality, and that's hard to find these days when you have somebody that wants to do both. So he's a guy that will have a tremendous opportunity to come in right away and push for playing time because he has that mentality. Obviously, I don't know what our mentality of our current guys are right now. I'll learn that through the spring. And we'll evaluate. We definitely need at least 1 more there, most likely, from that standpoint, and we'll work to figure out what that is, whether that's a somebody in the portal, whether that's a junior college guy, whether that's eventually another high school kid. We'll figure that out. But once we are able to evaluate our guys through spring a little bit and see that, but we know we need at least 1 more there, and preferably a little older guy that can match with the guys that we have coming back.
Let's go online. Ed Lane from CBS Sports Radio locally has a couple questions for you there.
Jamey, the offensive and defensive lines, I know you've talked about a number of those individual players. Was that partially because of what the coaching staff before did for you, or is that part of what you and your staff want to emphasize as well in terms of having a volume of high-quality individuals on both those units?
Well, I think you have to have, if you're going to win in any level, you got to be good up front on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the previous staff, made a commitment towards those. I did add, more to the offensive line, and we'll keep looking for more of those. I think we don't have enough there, and so we'll be going after more offensive linemen here. Through this, as soon as we get off this call, we're going to go after some more there. And then the defensive line, you can never have enough. And so we'll work hard on going forward on continuing to build the depth there because if you're good on both sides of the ball, you got a chance. You saw our defense was really good this year here. And it's because we're really good up front. We had good players at all levels, but those defensive linemen up front could really get after the quarterback, and so we got to continue to build that there. And then from an offensive line standpoint, I mentioned we have so many super seniors, and so I think there's 6 or 7 right now. So that's 7 we're going to lose in one recruiting class. That's not really good, and so I've got to try to plan for that and try to help us not have such a drop off. When those guys do, finish their playing time, and so that's why we're putting a big emphasis on trying to get enough guys, especially mid-year guys, in that can help push us for some playing time and build some depth for us.
You mentioned both lines as a position of need. As you had a chance to kind of evaluate the roster the past few weeks, any other positions that you look at that these are glaring spots you need to fill, whether for depth purposes or talent infusion or anything like that?
Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then linebackers, corners, and probably a safety. But we've got a lot of work to do there to try to get some people in.
You mentioned the receivers. I don't think any signed yesterday. How many guys do you hope to try to get there? And do you envision that maybe being more of a portal type thing?
Well, we probably need a couple, 2, maybe 3, 2 for sure, and we'll look into the high school ranks. Try and sign somebody in February. There's still some good high school players out there. I'd like to get a young guy. I do think we need whether it's a junior college transfer or a portal. If we can find a portal guy that's able to come in January, I think that'd be tremendous. We were on some kids, and during the transition, we had some kids committed. They decided to go other places, which was fine. But we do need to bring somebody in if we can in January, at least 1. And then we'll recruit a couple of high school kids for the February signing class, see if we can get one of them to jump on board, and then if there's junior college or somebody of that nature. But we need a couple older players, I think, to help fill that, and then I'd like to get a young one as well.
And I apologize, I hadn't had a chance to go back and look at your recruiting past, are you more of a guy who likes to get high school kids, or do you mix and match in terms of high school kids and maybe a four junior college?
I think you got to build your foundation through the high school ranks. That's always the path that we've tried to take. Obviously, when you have needs, if there's immediate need, then you fill it with the junior college transfer or something of that nature. Or there's a portal guy that the thing with why you always have to be aware of some of the portals. Sometimes you lose guys. We lost a starting linebacker here and decided to go somewhere else. We got a defensive lineman decided to go somewhere else that you maybe you didn't know about. And so now you got to try to fill those needs, and that's the challenge with it. So, but we're our foundation will always come from high school, and then we'll have to plug and play some immediate needs. If the high school player that's here already is not quite ready, and we need somebody that's ready to go, we'll have to figure that out.
You mentioned several positions you were looking to add to here. The next signing period, February, do you anticipate being about as big as this one, or maybe a little less?
Well, I hope we end up, having a few join us here in January, and so we're hoping. I hope that you'll see here, but January we'll add 2 more running backs that'll be joining us in January. Is the hope. I hope you see us add a receiver or 2, at least 1 more offensive lineman, and then there'll be if things continue to trend the way they need to, you'll see a safety, you'll see a corner come in January, and hopefully 1 or 2 linebackers. So I'm hoping we'll have that there by January, and then that leaves us. If we have to sign 14 guys in February, I don't know if there's 14 players left, that much, and so we'll work on that now, and then see. And if we don't get the right ones, then we'll figure it out. But I'm not gonna panic. We're building for the long term, and so I'm not gonna just rush and take players just to have guys. If we don't have the right ones, then we'll hold them and we'll figure it out. There'll more opportunities. I'm not gonna rush and take the wrong ones, but there are needs that we have to have. And I just got to figure out who the right fits are, and hopefully the right fits can come in January and get us going through spring, and then we'll plug and play after that.
Do you have any impressions, thoughts after watching the team in an actual game the other night?
No, I thought we played hard, and the main thing, somebody asked me that the other day, and it's hard to evaluate when you don't know. I know football, but hey, what were they supposed to do here? What were they supposed to do there? More for me, I look for body language. And the guys play hard, and were they playing for each other? And they were, so that's good. So that tells you there's a good culture, good foundation there, and my job's to enhance it and make it stronger, and hopefully continue to build the program.
You mentioned quarterback. Caden Salter got a chance to start and play the entire game. You had a chance to talk with him much, and what have kind of been your conversations with him like?
I met with him. We've met a couple times with the groups and watched him, observed him there. Now that I have some more time, I was gone a lot, obviously, in the 2 weeks, and so now that I have some time here over the Christmas break, I'm going to reach out to all the players, but the quarterback specifically, because that's obviously such a key deal, and get a chance to try to get to know those a little bit. But I know he's extremely talented, young man, and has had some success here, had some downs here, and my job's to get him where he's consistent. And that starts with building relationships with him and all the quarterbacks. But looking forward to working with him this spring.
I think you told us the other night that you're trying to get the coaching staff in place here in the next week or 2. Is that kind of the next thing on the list?
It is. We're working through all that, and so finalizing the different things, finalizing recruiting and the departments and all the different things there. And so we're in a pretty good place with that. Hoping we'll figure out when the announcement needs to be from those things, but everything's trending well from that standpoint. Just got to finalize maybe a couple more things I need to do, and I think everything else is in place, and keeping some of the current people here and the things that they've done. So looking forward to having that crew on campus so we can start moving forward.
That core that's here, that mostly off the field?
Mostly, yeah, mostly. Obviously, some went with coach, and there's others that have other opportunities at other places, and tried to get some, to stay, but they obviously had better opportunities, or perceived better opportunities, I guess. And so, but we'll have a good staff in place.
Ed, do you have anything else?
Yeah, one more, Coach. You mentioned that and elaborating on that. What impact, if any, was there in terms of the just coaching transition and the fact that nothing's publicly out there, but maybe the uncertainty in particular roles of who's going to be coaching prospects and what their role is? How did you guys approach that as a staff on the recruiting trail?
Well, I told them, all up front, and I'm sure we lost a couple because of those things. But I told them all up front that, hey, you have to assume that, the coach that's been recruiting you is not going to be here. And if you're coming to Liberty, you're coming because you believe in Liberty. And if you're coming because the coach is not going to be here, then it's not going to be the best place for you. And so we had a lot stay. After I told them, we had a lot stay, and we had, we had a couple say, hey, I want to go other places. And so that was part of it. But I was upfront and honest with them. I want you to know what you're getting into and what it's about. And if you're choosing us, you don't have a great relationship with me right now. I'll work on that once you're here and building that relationship. But if you're choosing it because you believe in what Liberty's about and what direction we're heading. And I think we were able to hold on to the majority of them with that approach. And as I said, a couple have decided to go other places. And you wish them well. It's not like I had a great relationship with them where I could really say, hey, give us an opportunity. Not that I didn't try. I tried, but if they weren't sold on us in general, and I say us, our program and where we're heading, it was more about a person. It wasn't going to work out anyway.
Have you had a chance?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you had a chance to get your wife and kids moved here, and do you get a chance to have some time off on the holidays with them?
I've not had a chance. We'll figure that out in some, but I'll head back South Carolina at some point and have a chance to spend a little bit there. I told my wife the other day I'll be just as surprised at Christmas morning what Santa brings as the kids will. So I'll be looking forward to that one. But it'll be good to do that and get back up here and get ready to go.